We are back with the top 10 most surprising players of the 2022 season. These are the 10 players that have surpassed their expectations in the biggest ways. So let's just get into it. The only right way to start this video off is with Justin Verlander. Justin Verlander is 39 years old, coming off of Tommy John surgery. What is he doing as a favorite for the Cy Young Award? Seriously, every road led to us getting a diminished version of Justin Verlander this year. But here's what JV's year this year has ingrained into my brain. We need to be overly appreciative of guys like JV because guys like him just don't come around very often. So do me a favor, appreciate him now because he's going to be gone before we know it.
This next dude, how can you not love him? He's 5'8", 245 pounds. He is the player you created in MLB The Show as a kid, and he is mashing MLB pitching in his first full season in the bigs. Who else but the inevitable Alejandro Kirk? Kirk played in 60 games last year, and he was a very average hitter at the plate. So I don't think anyone expected him to become the best hitting catcher in baseball this year, including the Blue Jays. Kirk was originally expected to split time with Danny Jansen behind the plate, but after Jansen landed on the IL in mid-April, Kirk was unleashed as the Blue Jays' primary catcher. For about 2 full months, the 23-year-old just turned into Yordan Alvarez at the plate. He was unstoppable. You couldn't get him out. Now, he's since cooled off a bit at the plate, but honestly, those 2 months alone were enough to boost his season-long numbers to a very respectable season. But his elite plate discipline makes it so that even when he's slumping, he's not striking out much, and he's still getting on base. And since we're talking about the biggest surprises in baseball this season, you'll probably find it pretty surprising when I say that this man, Kirk, has 13 infield hits this year. Yeah, that's the real reason he made this list.
I don't know what they're feeding the guys over in Cleveland, but they've become quite the powerhouse when it comes to developing baseball talent. Andres Gimenez has seemingly come out of nowhere and taken the baseball world by storm at just 23 years old. The Guardians certainly don't miss Lindor's production, with this young stud filling his shoes quite nicely. Andres Gimenez has been the perfect Robin to Jose Ramirez's Batman and deserves the highest praise for elevating the Guardians into first place in the American League Central when no one gave them a chance at the beginning of the year. Hopefully, Cleveland continues to guard all their young talent.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
At all costs, as they're primed for a decade of contention.
What's that, ladies and gentlemen? This is what we like to call a lip squirrel. The mustachio. The pistachio. The hair up there. The Burt Reynolds. Whatever you want to call it, it's the reason Nestor Cortes has been so elite this year. Now, has it been his actual ability to be an elite pitcher on the mound? Probably, but the mustache... Joking around aside, let's get into why Nestor has been so elite on the mound this year. Number one, he is able to hit his zone to a T. I mean, he's up there looking like Sherwin Williams with a paintbrush. Bob Ross, if you will. Because he is painting. And the other reason is he is one of the best in the game at being able to change speeds. And that's really what pitching is all about. He doesn't have blow you away stuff, but he mixes in the four seam, the cutter, the slider, and even the circle change. He can throw all of them for strikes in any count to either side of the plate, and I gotta say, I'm genuinely surprised he was able to keep it up for the whole year, but he has, so I'll give him props. He is one of the main reasons why the Yankees are just running away with the East right now.
What rookie starter sits 98 with the fastball and leads all of baseball in strikeout percentage? He also leads the league in mustaches above replacement. Think you know it yet? We are, of course, talking about my favorite young right-hander in the game today, Spencer Strider. Now, it's not like no one knew who Spencer Strider was on opening day. He was a top 100 prospect coming into the season, although frankly way too low at number 99. But after missing the 2019 season with a torn UCL and pitching just 94 innings across all levels of the minors in 2021, Strider began the 2022 season in the Atlanta Braves bullpen. There were questions about his potential workload, his command, and the fact that he's effectively just a two-pitch pitcher. But there was never a question about his stuff. Strider got the opportunity to start for the Braves in late May, and the dude just locked it down. Many skeptics thought it was only a matter of time before the dude ran out of gas. But fast forward to today, the mustachioed menace is still lighting up that radar gun and racking up the Ks. Dude is going to be a weapon for the Braves in October this year. So that makes two players that are rocking mustaches that way exceeded expectations. Could you imagine if there was a third?
This is the redemption story of all redemption stories. Matt Carpenter's 2022 was completely out of nowhere. After 2021, the Cardinals cut him loose and it looked like his career was done. The Rangers pick him up on a minor league deal and it becomes apparent pretty quickly that they have no intention of calling him up. So they granted him his release and lo and behold, here come the Yankees. Listen, I know Carpenter is hurt right now and he won't have a full season of plate appearances, but do me a favor. Look at these stats. You're telling me that this was on the open market for next to nothing and the Yankees were the only team that sniffed this out? Call it blind luck, call it a resurgence, call it whatever you want, okay? But if I told you that this was Babe Ruth's slash line in like 1924, you'd believe me without a doubt. I'm a Rays fan through and through. I don't want to give the Yankees credit for anything, but there is no one on planet Earth that played baseball that went from zero to hero as quickly as Matt Carpenter did. I mean, all summer, he's got me thinking like, what could it be? I think Kyle was onto something. Might be the mustache.
Okay, next we're going to talk about the guy on the Tampa Bay Rays with 2 first names. That's right, we're talking about Jason Adam. Now, Adam wasn't really on many people's radars this year, and probably for good reason, because he really hadn't been able to sustain success in the bigs up until this point. But then, of course, he goes to Kyle Schneider and Stan Borowski on the Rays and becomes one of the best relievers in the game. And how did he do it? He just stopped giving up base runners. I don't really know what else to say other than that. Walks, gone. Base hits, gone. He had always been a top-of-the-line strikeout guy, but his walks, crazy high. He was walking like 5 per 9. And this year, he just doesn't do it anymore. Now, I know what you're thinking. The Rays do this with random guys every single season. Maybe you're right. If they do it with some random again next year, he won't be on the list. But this year, I have to give Jason Adam props. He has become one of the elite back-end bullpen guys in the game.
If you've been watching baseball over the last decade or so, then you know just how dominant this dude Goldschmidt is. At the age of 34, Goldie woke up one morning and decided that the game of baseball is just really easy. His dominance this season has seen him take home 3 Player of the Week awards, a Player of the Month award, a starting All-Star Game gig, and has him leading the National League MVP race. How are they going to keep this guy out of the Hall if he ends up making history this year? They won't. They can't. Or they'll be hearing from the boys over at Baseball Juice, and trust me, you don't want that.
This next guy is the embodiment of why most baseball fans cannot stand the Dodgers. Across 6 seasons bouncing around from Colorado, San Francisco, Pittsburgh, and Seattle, this guy came into the season with a career 4.62 ERA. Now, in his first full season with the Dodgers, his ERA on the season is 2.69. Next, you're going to tell me that he's 32 years old and his fastball tops out at 91. Oh wait, he does. Tyler Anderson's 2022 has been surprising to say the least. But are we really surprised it was the Dodgers that helped him get there? From the team that brought us guys like Justin Turner, Max Muncy, Andrew Heaney, and a shutdown bullpen that they basically picked out of the bargain bin, the Dodgers definitely have a reputation for getting the most out of guys. But that's not to take away from what Anderson's doing this year. He's got the lowest walk rate of his career, getting guys to chase more outside of the zone, generating bad contact, and he's just letting his defense do the rest. Most Dodgers fans probably expected him to be in the back of the rotation or maybe even a bullpen guy. But Tyler Anderson has come in and, in a way, led a rotation that needed quality innings after Kershaw and Buehler went down. And I know most baseball fans are probably thinking they can't keep getting away with this, but you kind of just got to be happy for Tyler Anderson, who's dominating in 2022.
This next guy is like my favorite random story of the year. Brandon Drury is the most random breakout of 2022. He was with the Diamondbacks and the Blue Jays and the Mets, then the Yankees. And it just seemed like with each passing year, Drury was just another one of these young guys with a bunch of talent who was never going to put it together. But give credit where credit is due. He faced the music, he fixed his swing in the offseason, he became a real threat at the plate this year, and now he's about to get paid. And you just have to give him major props for that. In 4 months, he went from major league burnout to impact free agent. How can you not be romantic about baseball? That is going to wrap up our list for the 10 most surprising players of the 2022 season. For those who are curious, this is the list of players that we almost mentioned in this video. So if you want to get in the comments and let us know who should have made the video and who shouldn't have made the video will absolutely be active in the comments. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe. That is absolutely the best way to support the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Greetings from Apple World. Last take, best take, Tyler Anderson, the dude with the